All right, so let's just breathe. I'm going to breathe through it and have Jordan Palmer help. Look, if Jordan can help Trevor get through a big day, he can help me get through this moment too. Joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show, the man who was right by Trevor Lawrence's side, Jordan Palmer. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Rich?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Great. I'm heading to the airport, back to where you're from.
Okay.
Your neck of the woods in California, and I'm out here in South Carolina right now.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you the most important question of the day, Jordan. Did Trevor extra moisturize? Did he extra put more conditioner in his hair today? What did he do?
Yeah, really focused on getting a Head and Shoulders deal. I thought he did a great job.
Good.
No, I don't think he has bad hair days, Rich, like you and I have had over the years. I don't think he has bad hair days.
He looked terrific, Jordan. He looked terrific. Walk me through how you prepared him for today and how you thought it went. What do you got for me?
Well, I think for some context, I mean, it was pretty unprecedented if you think about it. That I don't know. You've been doing this longer than me, but I haven't seen somebody bump their pro day up a month to accommodate and to go ahead and show it. And he's really only been throwing 2 weeks just because you have the playoffs, you do all that stuff, and we were preparing for a later pro day, and so to only have 2 weeks. And there's these college players, they throw when they're at a Nike school, they throw Nike footballs, and there's two kinds. There's a large and a small girth, size, and so they throw a small girth. So when you go from the small one at Clemson to the NFL ball, there's just a lot of different changes, and so between the new footwork, kind of cramming it in there, and only a couple weeks throwing. I mean, I think the big takeaway from today is if anybody could have said no to this, it's him, and he didn't. Showed up, spun it, and didn't let any of that stuff bother him, and kind of looked like what we all thought he was, which is the best player in this draft.
All right, and then we saw from my colleague at NFL Media Group, Jane Slater, she Instagrammed out the play sheet, I guess, that the script that you put him through. What did you put together that you thought needed to show off all of his acumen, all of his abilities?
Well, I was going with this strategy of let's just have everybody go deep a bunch, and then I realized everyone's going to get tired. So now we basically there's a bunch of new stuff, right? Anybody going from college to pro these days, a lot of these college guys are in gun a lot. So without knowing exactly what's going to happen here coming up, we just wanted to show that, hey, here's all the different play action footworks that any system would ask you to do. They may have a different name, but it's the same thing. So instead of just throwing a flat route, let's do it off of a play action. And really it was just getting a chance to show all the different footwork that he's going to be asked to do in every type of throw. I'm not big on doing 100 throws to show, anything there. It's really just, can you make all the different throws, whether it's layer, touch, drive, feel to the sideline, over the top. And, I wasn't surprised at all. It looked like he did a great job in every category and did what he wanted to do.
Great job. Great name for the 8-yard stop, Jordan. Notice that one too.
Kobe, yeah. Much respect.
Well, I mean, was Kobe 6'6"? I don't know. I mean, this guy is...
He wasn't, but it's an 8-yard route.
Okay.
So I think that's where that name comes from. And but yeah, mixed it in, tried to use the different terminology for different folks that are there too. Yeah, he did a great job.
You've been the QB consultant for quite a few people, Jordan, including many who have gone on to great things in the NFL. Where does Trevor Lawrence rank for you?
I mean, he's right up there. I think the biggest thing with Trevor, and really I felt this way before we started working out, is if you think about what his last 4 years have been like. Okay, so sophomore year in high school, he's got an offer from every school in the country, and you say, well, what does that have to do with the NFL? Well, okay, that means that every single time he steps on the field for a 7-on-7 tournament, every single kid's waiting to pick him off and try and beat them that day, and their camera phone's out, and then. When he goes through the programs like Elite 11 that you and I have talked about, that's a TV show. They're mic'd up. They're around the experience that you get. I know a lot of guys from being on Hard Knocks. I know a lot of guys who that was the first time they've ever been mic'd up, and they're new to that. And then you look at what happened his true freshman year. It's not just that he won a national championship. It's that he was replacing Deshaun Watson, who this big, beautiful facility that we were throwing in today, Deshaun Watson built that place. So to follow in those steps and then come in and have instant success right away, I just look at his last couple of years and everything he's been through. And this offseason, he's a big reason we played football. He started the Let Us Play movement and used his platform for that. And when social injustice. He was at the front and center of that. So this guy has just done so many things in college that is stuff that I think franchise quarterbacks have to go through, and most of them learn how to do it when they get to the league. Trevor's got 3 or 4 years of experience of dealing with that. Before he touches a football, I'd say that advantage is in his favor if it comes to, is he going to be one of these greats?
Yeah, and of course, obviously, he replaced Deshaun, or he followed Deshaun Watson in terms of the level of expectation that Watson had already set, but he really replaced Kelly Bryant, who transferred, who basically, and then that was a big to-do at Clemson at the time. Certainly put a lot of spotlight and pressure on Trevor in his initial starts there, and then the rest is literally history. And, you know, the concept is he's going to be first overall, and that's that. But how many teams came up to you today? How many bench your ear?
There was a handful of guys, teams there, and, you know, some of these guys are old friends from different things as well. And so,
right.
These pro days are always fun because you're going to get to run into people. I mean, you know, Art Smith was the tight end coach in Tennessee when I was there. You know what I mean? So now finally see him as the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons is great. But yeah, I think it was a good turnout considering what the situation is and being early. And I thought he handled himself really well.
One of my favorite, Jordan Palmer, a few more minutes left with the QB consultant, Jordan Palmer, who was Trevor Lawrence's consultant for the Pro Day today here on the Rich Eisen Show. So one of my favorite stories that Deion Sanders told me from his days at the Combine when he was being drafted is he would ask teams that were interested in him, where are you drafting? And if it wasn't high enough, he would just walk away saying, you have no shot. So now, obviously, anything can happen in the NFL, but did any of those moments cross your mind? You don't have to name the team where somebody comes up to you asking you about Trevor. You're like, what the hell are you asking me for?
No. I think everyone's intrigued, and they've all seen him and want to know. And at the same time, this is a crazy year. I mean, look at the names that we're all throwing around of who could go where. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? And so I think that's a piece of it as well, is no one could definitively, very few teams can definitively say what they're going to do next year at quarterback. I think more so than ever, and so it opens up the mind for intrigue here to kind of figure out what are the different options.
That said, how much have you spoken? Have you already broken a personal record of how much you've spoken to Urban Meyer at all, or what?
We actually go way back, just from, you know, as you run into folks over the years. Mm-hmm. So whether it's a American Century Classic in Tahoe or other places.
Well, you're definitely talking NBC Sports language here on NBC Sports and Peacock, you know, so, but this is, I mean, how do you, let's put it this way, then let me ask you this question. How do you think he will fit what Urban Meyer and Darrell Bevel are going to be cooking up in Jacksonville? How do you think that?
Well, I think if that aligns, I think it's an awesome fit. I think the thing about Urban is, like, he's just kind of won everywhere. We all know that he won at Florida and Ohio State, but he won at Bowling Green, and he won it at Utah, and so I think that he has the right approach. I don't think he has any interest in taking a big job and hoping things work out. I think he's trying to win a Super Bowl and win it immediately, and that's just how he's always been. And then Darrell Bevel's had so much success with quarterbacks that are less mobile and quarterbacks that are really mobile, like Russell. And so when you know how to design for both types of players, and Trevor's certainly mobile and be able to move him around, but can play from the pocket. As really what I am as a fan of Trevor, as a fan, I get excited, about the opportunity to do that. And then, Brian Schottenheimer, pass game coordinator, he's been around a lot of these young guys. He was with the young Mark Sanchez, and he's been with Russell as well. And so there's just a lot of knowledge in that room, and I don't know too much about the rest of the staff and all the other things there, but I know those three names and what they're about, and I think I sure hope it's Trevor, and they get an opportunity to play for those guys. I think only good stuff's going to happen. Before
I let you go, what about the left shoulder that needs surgery? What can you tell me about that for Trevor?
I think it's just a standard deal. I don't. That's not my world, but I think it's just a standard deal, and it's the kind of surgery where that surgeon does like 8 of those that day. You know what I mean? It's just a total standard deal, and I wouldn't be surprised if the surgeon's done a lot of NFL players that surgery this offseason. So it's a routine deal, and the rehab is what it is. And moving it up early was just a great move by his team and by Trevor to move it up so that he can really actually get ready for this rookie season instead of having to rehab late in the offseason.
Okay.
So I just think the kids handled it really well from start to finish.
Okay, last thing for you. The video that we've been playing quite a bit throughout the day and has gone viral. What do we call this this play on your script of him fading back, running in what seems to be in circles before launching it 70 yards down the field? Jordan? What do we
Well,
call this
all
one?
it is just a busted play, right? So I have somebody run a curl,
Mm-hmm.
and then I move him like as if somebody's chasing him both directions and sets up. And I think that's just the best way to show how far a guy can throw. I don't like standing there and just chucking it at some line.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just insinuates, hey, look, if the play breaks down, look how mobile he is, too. Somebody runs naked down that behind the coverage, he can make that play as well. And so I think it's just a good way to kind of end those things off and put any, with any quarterback, any questions about a quarterback's arm strength, whether that's whoever that is, that's a good one to put it to bed because you got a lot on that.
And then do you also tell him that after it's completed, what you should do is lift your shirt so you can show your abs, wipe your face with that, and then just when I know that that's going to be on camera, let me come by and dap you up? Was that a veteran move? Was that a veteran?
Try and get a photo of it and then superimpose my face on his so I could lie to my wife and tell her that I do have abs.
No, but you dapped him up. Like, that's a veteran move. You know that's going to be the highlight of the day, and then you step in, Jordan. That was a veteran move. I noticed that. I saw that.
Nice. It was nice. Proud of the kid.
It's not your first rodeo.
Not his biggest moment. He's been in some bigger situations in a pro day in front of a few folks.
Okay. No, just for you, though. I'm appreciating you, too. So Josh Allen's your guy, too, right? Nick, correct?
He is. Yeah, we spent a lot of time together.
Oh, boy. What a year for him, huh? What about him? What about that kid, Jordan? Huh?
I mean, sky's the limit. I think if you wrote a list together of the most just physically talented players to ever play the position, I don't know who else is on that list, but he sure is, and he might be at the top of it in terms of, he's faster than most of the fast guys, and he's 245, and I don't know if his arm's the strongest in the league or if Pat's is stronger, but whatever, it doesn't matter. There's two guys standing over there by themselves. And just the complete package. And then on top of that, there are fast guys who aren't good runners, and there are slower guys who are good runners. He's a fast guy that's also a good runner. So you just look at all the pieces, and I'll just say this. He's really fun to work with. And you've probably interviewed him. He's about as fun to hang out with as there is.
What a good human. Just a good dude. And those, I remember you were telling me those accuracy things that you're hearing about, forget it. Like, don't worry about that. And now look at him. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
He's
a lot of people say you can't coach accuracy or you can't get more accurate as a player. That's just people who haven't had success doing it. So, like I told you, I mean, it's a thing that he's going to end up owning, and it happened faster than I thought it would. But just because I've never seen anybody grow that quick. But and honestly, Ken Dorsey is quarterback coach, Brian Dable, that offensive coordinator, and what Brandon Beane has assembled around them. Josh is certainly a lot of credit is due there, but a lot of credit is due to that staff and the way that front office has built that team, because this was not a good year. This was the start of something that we're going to get used to seeing.
You're the man, Jordan. Thanks for the time. Safe flight. Let's connect over the next couple of weeks. That's it. You bet. Thank you. That's Jordan Palmer here on the Rich Eisen Show, one of the tops in his game. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.